Hi, class. Today, we are going to review what you need to know for your test. And I will break you out into individual breakout rooms, and I'll give you a link, and it's a Google form quiz. It's 40 points. It's not that difficult because it will be open book. You are able to go back and look at the PowerPoints I have previously posted on Schoology. Use your notes, anything you've taken as a note in class, that's okay. This is not a quiz designed to test your memory if you've memorized all the answers. It's more about just getting you familiar with, time and time again, familiar with the components of an essay, so that when you go to write them, you know exactly what you need to do. As you can tell, for university level writing, there is a lot of structure, specific structure, like a formula for how to do each stage of the essay. And you're going to carry that with you throughout your university days. Okay, so I just want you to get familiar with it and just keep going over it and over it until you internalize it. There's no point in just memorizing it for a test and then forgetting it. Okay, so yeah, don't stress out. This is worth 10% of your grade, but it's pretty easy, so you should get a high score. And majority of the test will be multiple choice questions. There's a few fill in the blanks or open-ended questions. You just answer with a word or two. And there will be 2 paragraphs you have to write. We'll just get into that in a minute. So today, I just want to go over the stuff you need to know. So let's get to it. Here is our review for your test. There's parts of an essay. And we'll start with titles and APA. Can you remember where your title goes? Well, it's supposed to be on your title page and above your intro paragraph centered on the second page. Okay, so don't forget, your title will appear on your title page, and it will also appear to start your essay right before you begin your intro paragraph. Do you remember the font size you have to use every single time? Yeah, 12-point font. And the kind of font? Times New Roman. Do you remember what you used to separate a 2-part title? It's a colon. Yeah, this double dot, it's called a colon. Don't forget that, okay? This will separate the 2 lines of your 2-part title if you choose to use one. And is a 2-part title or 1-part title better? Hopefully you remember that both are equally fine, okay? They're both effective. It's up to you whether you want to do a 2-part or a 1-part title, okay? In terms of introductions and the hook specifically, do you remember what the goal of the hook is? Well, hopefully you would say that it's to get the reader's attention and to make them want to read more. 7 techniques. You won't need to know all of these, but you should know some. Hopefully you can remember some. The most popular is to ask an interesting question or questions, or a shocking statement, something that would surprise me. You can also tell an interesting, funny story, a surprising fact or a surprising statistic, a comparison between 2 things, a famous quotation, and you can even describe a scene, like the situation or the setting. What comes after the hook? Before the thesis statement. This one usually catches out a lot of people in this quiz. So maybe memorize this one. Okay, remember we talked about the funnel. It's a very popular way of writing an intro paragraph. We start with the hook, and then we go to the general or background information about the topic. Don't forget that. So it's hook, general background information, thesis in a kind of inverted triangle or a funnel, funneling down to the thesis. Okay, but before the thesis, after the hook, is the background information about the topic. Thesis statements. Through the thesis statement, your intro paragraph will explain your essay's organization and purpose. Okay, it explains how it's organized and why you are writing this essay. Some of the common problems with thesis statements, well, there was 3 major ones. Often they're too general, or they're too simple, or too obvious. Okay. Strong thesis statements, they take a stand and are specific, okay? I should know from a thesis statement what your stance is on a topic, or your position on a topic, like in favor of or against or whatever, and specific, okay? A thesis is never a question. It's not a statement of purpose, and it's not simply a topic, okay? Remember that. Body paragraphs. Do you remember how many make that nice diagram of the body paragraph house? Yeah, it's 6. 6 sentences minimum, okay? All relevant too, no irrelevant sentences, 6 minimum. This one tricks a lot of people on this test all the time too. If you're gonna remember something, remember this. How many major arguments should each body paragraph contain for your essay? Okay, so don't get confused. There's 3 body paragraphs, but there's 1 major argument per body paragraph. So each body paragraph centers on 1 point. So if you're in favor of banning nuclear power, as we always use an example, 1 body paragraph would focus exactly or primarily on there's too much nuclear waste, okay? The second body paragraph maybe would focus on the high rates of cancer for people living near a nuclear power plant, okay? And the third one would talk about maybe the threat of a meltdown. And all the sentences in the body paragraph, or each body paragraph, would, gravitate towards that major point in each paragraph. It's your 3 major points that support your thesis, okay? Some people get confused about this. Now, 1 body paragraph equals 1 major point that you're arguing, okay? In what order should you arrange your strongest, second strongest, and weakest? Hopefully you guys remember this, that it is the second strongest first, the weakest in the middle, and the strongest last. That way you start strong, you kind of hide or sandwich the weakest point so it gets a bit forgotten, and then you finish with the strongest one to leave on a bang. And concluding paragraphs, the last part. What's the 3-step formula? Don't forget this. A lot of people forget this, okay? There's 3 things you need to do in a concluding paragraph. The first thing is you restate your thesis in different words. The second thing is you summarize those 3 main points. We just talked about the 3 points for the 3 body paragraphs, like 1 point per body paragraph. Recap those in different words, okay? Remind me what you wrote. And then leave the reader with your final thoughts or opinion. There's 3 ways to do that, okay? There's 3 ways to leave your final thoughts or opinion. Any of these would be fine to finish your essay with. The first one, you can make a prediction about what will happen in the future. The second one is you can suggest results or consequences. And the third one is suggest a solution or make a recommendation. 1 and 3 are usually the ones that students go for. Okay, please remember this. We'll be on your test, all right? Okay, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know. But study up before your test. That's the content. Not all of that will be on the test. Some of it will, some of it won't. You'll see which is, okay, and which is not. But again, you'll have access to any of the PowerPoints that I have done, and you will also have the ability to use your notes, any notes you've taken in class. That's okay too. All right, I guess you can use your textbook if you want. And the only thing that won't be available is today's video. I'm just prepping you for what to expect on Friday. Again, the test will begin at 3:30. So once everyone's in, even if they're not, after a couple minutes, like I'm saying good afternoon and everybody's assembled, we're going to get right to it. And as soon as you're done the test, you are free to go. You don't even have to ask permission to leave. I'll put you in a breakout room. And then once you're satisfied and you've submitted your answers, you're done for this week. You probably won't stay an hour and a half. It shouldn't take you that long, especially with access to the materials. So I usually average around like 45 minutes to an hour, I think. Some people do it quicker. Some people take a little bit longer. But once you're done, you are free to go. Once you've submitted successfully, you be free to go once you hit that submit for your answers. And then I'll cover the answers to the test on Tuesdays, next Tuesday's on-demand video. Most likely your multiple choice and short answer questions, I think will be pretty straightforward. But you do have 2 paragraphs that you will have to write, an intro paragraph and a concluding paragraph. not a body paragraph. Okay, you'll have to write an intro paragraph and a concluding paragraph. It doesn't have a word limit, but you're aiming for your 4, 5, 6 sentences for those intro and conclusion paragraphs. And you'll see the prompts that I give you. You'll follow those, and then you'll write one intro and one concluding paragraph. Those are worth 10 points each. And the whole test is out of 40. So one paragraph is 10 points, the concluding paragraph is 10 points, and then the rest, there's 20 other questions. And then that's it. It should not be that hard for you guys. And it's really just a matter of A, giving you a good score to start the semester on, and B, just getting you, again, familiar, just going over and over what you need to do when you write your essays, which are worth a lot of your grade. I want to get you started on the right foot this semester, so this should be pretty much a gimme 10%. I don't think anyone is likely to get perfect, but you should be aiming for an 80 or 90% or higher. It should be pretty straightforward. Okay. All right. So be ready for your parts of the essay test. All right. See you guys then. Take care. Bye-bye.